Hello, I'm the DM, and you're listening to Campaign 2 of Fools and Flagons, The Tales of Archeron. We livestream on Twitch at twitch.tv/Fools&Flagons. That's Fools, the letter N, Flagons, every Friday at 7 p.m. Central for Tales of Archeron and 6 p.m. Central for Storm King's Chaos. If you'd like to join our community and talk not just about D&D, but other games as well, consider joining our Discord. The links can be found below in the description. Do you like us? Like, really, really like us? Consider donating to our coffee page at ko-fi.com/Fools&Flagons. The links can also be found in the description. Donations and memberships are never required and always appreciated. We have no gated content for members only, and all proceeds go straight back into making Fools and Flagons an even better experience, and it helps to keep the podcast alive and well. Are you ready for some D&D? All right then. Grab your drinks and raise your glasses. It's time for the Fools and Flagons podcast.
Grab your drink and raise your glass. Make a mess and kick some ass. Dungeon Master has no chance. It's time for Fools and Flagons. Raid the dungeons and slay the dragon. Sharpen your sword and prep your wagons. There'll be death and tons of magic. It's time for Fools and Flagons. Time for Fools and Flagons. It's time for Fools and Flagons.
She came up and bit my arm for no fucking reason.
It's because you were assaulting your wife and he's trying to protect her.
That was like 5 minutes ago.
Dogs have shit for like temporal memory.
He does. Like last night, of course, the dog wedged himself in between us, and James reached his hand over and started touching my shoulder. The dog like looked over and like bit his arm. Like not a hard bite, but he was like, "Stop it!"
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Fools and Flagons.
Oh.
A D&D campaign made up entirely by me, where my players get bitten by dogs and they do nothing to stop it.
Yeah.
Also, I realized something today that'll really fuck with your brains. Every single side on a D6, each opposite side adds up to 7.
Yeah.
That fucked with my brain a little bit.
Math. Facts.
Math.
Math. That doesn't work for me. 2 and 19 makes 21.
That's not a D6.
Oh! I thought you said D20. I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
I just felt the collective IQ of the room go down, so let's get started, shall we?
I am disappointed.
And my night's only just begun.
So, if you are watching us live on Twitch, I wanted to go ahead and give you all a very big thank you. We will not be able to verbally respond to your follows, subscriptions, or bits, as we do not want to interrupt the story. However, these lovely fuckers over here will probably not be paying attention at some point and will reply to you in the chat. We do want to give a big thank you to Martyr, Gelatinous Cube, Cargo, and Spazoid for being tavern members over on our coffee page. Your support of us is very much appreciated. We cannot thank you enough. And you guys really do help keep the podcast alive and well and everything that we do. All proceeds from donations or memberships always go straight back into Fools and Flagons. It doesn't go anywhere else. If you would like to have a spot at the bar, consider our coffee page. The links can be found below. And actually, did these work again?
Coffee.
It did work. So, also, the wonderful person that did our intro song, Nick Black, you should go check him out. Links can be found below. He's a fantastic musician, really, really good friend of ours. Yeah, anyone got anything else they want to talk about? Apart from the fact that I'm pretty sure James will throttle me if I end on another cliffhanger.
I'll help.
It's okay. You guys can just tell me to go downstairs. I have a gun now, too. No words. Just feel it. Oh, you got
I'm sure James will just drive down to Memphis.
I'm in danger.
Just remember, we have your address.
I'm in even more imminent danger.
2-hour flight for me.
I'm fucked.
Rapidly approaching your location.
My situation is rapidly deteriorating.
Not only do I have a 6'4" giant, I have Floridians on the way. I'm boned.
Native Floridian, too. Yeah.
That's worse. I guess that means you don't count?
Look, I'm from Albuquerque, so I got drugs.
And nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
Grab your drinks and raise your glasses. It's time for Fools and Flagons.
Okay.
Yar.
I'm assuming no one else has any more announcements that they want to give us.
Join us in the Discord.
I have a button for that.
We are cool. Join the Discord.
And thumbnail, except for Kirsten, who's just fucking munching, but that might actually be pretty funny to just be like, what the fuck are these idiots doing? As long as you don't mind there being something in your mouth. So, picking up where we last left off, the Tempests ventured deep into the Yutsushige forest in search of a cure-all moss that supposedly grew on the roots of a weeping sequoia. Along the way, the party discovered that they were going in circles despite Moriko's ability to know which way wasn't north, and decided to take a rest before trying again. Sometime during the last watch, the group was separated by a trio of Treants who wished to test them and see if they were worthy of being allowed so deep within their territory. Passing with flying colors, the Tempests were permitted entry into the Treants' Grove, their most sacred area. Lakin took charge and waded across the small lake to retrieve the moss they had come for, while the others spoke with Ironroot, the leader of the Treants, to see what they were doing about the blight ravaging the country. Ironroot revealed to them that the blight had not yet reached and encroached very far into their territory, so therefore it was none of their concern. Once the moss was collected, the Tempests were escorted from the forest with a few gifts given to them by the Treants, and were given permission to visit whenever they pleased. Once again, the Tempests hit the road, and then realized that they had no idea where or who they needed to deliver the moss to, and Tanaka was of no help either. Choosing to head towards the far western part of the Kudong Harbor, known as Dragon Shore, they worked their way east until they found where they needed to be, Calm Water Piers. Reaching the border between the two regions, they encountered a dead zone, where the Red Guard had evacuated a wide stretch of the village to keep the disease from spreading as best they could. We rejoined them now as Lakin Misty stepped away from the wagon, having spotted a small child dashing through the buildings alongside them, and recognition itched at the back of his mind. The child's features looked familiar, but slightly less pink.
A lot less pink.
A lot less pink. So, Moriko, you were on the driver's seat of the wagon when Lakin just kind of...
She's just like, what?
So,
Gone
Lakin,
forever.
you have
A terrified child.
Misty stepped on top... No. You have Misty stepped in front of... in front of a child, startling it, and having it fall over, looking up at you wide-eyed and fearful for a brief moment. And then a stubbornness crosses over features, which, though it is dark, you were able to see very clearly because of your enhanced vision. So, what are you doing?
So the child's looking very stubbornly at me right now.
The child has kind of stumbled backwards and fallen down onto the butt as you just appear, a giant 7-foot-tall orc in the middle of the night. And there's a look of shock, and then the child kind of gets up onto their feet and just has the sort of face, the stubbornness, like, how dare you kind of look.
I'll drop to a knee to seem less intimidating.
and say,
She's still.
I apologize. It was your shifting shadow that drew me.
Child kind of looks at you for a second, looks back towards the road, looks back at you, and you can see she's now looking around your figure, your form.
You not a red guard?
No, little one.
So I'm not in trouble.
Of course not.
Cool.
And she starts running.
Wait! Does she stop?
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
disadvantage?
Disadvantage.
I like it. I'm a charismatic character. Let's do this.
Didn't think about that.
+5. The low roll is a dirty 20.
Fuck. Great. Now I have 2 Morikos. The child runs for a few more paces, getting a healthy distance between you, but...
I teleport to her.
What? Hold on.
Bar step's still up, so I've got 60 feet, and I can do it as a bonus action.
She runs a little bit and begins to slow down. And after she's gotten about a house's length away from you, she turns, and you're not there.
Huh. Yeah,
Perhaps you should hear what I have to say first.
She's kind of like pointing up at you, pointing where you were, looking back again.
How'd you do that?
I make a little arcane bauble in my hand that goes around my fingertips.
Do you not know how to use magic, little one?
Not yet.
I have someone that you should meet, but they are not far.
I'm not supposed to be out right now, so Can I go home?
Then
I want to go home. Please?
How about I walk you home? To ensure you get where you need to go.
Okay.
She just kind of points and does like a big circle around you and is kind of like crab walking. She's kind of walking forward, but she keeps glancing over her shoulder at you.
I'm gonna insight check that.
What are you inciting?
I'm inciting if she's actually telling the truth about going home, if she has a home to go to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, make an insight check. It took me like half a session to realize what the fuck that meant, but I understand.
I said
now.
it like 18 times.
Yeah, I know, but my brain, because to me it's just like, whoo, I hope this is gonna work, and then it's like, I get it.
16.
16. She seems truthful. As she's walking along, you see that she is looking at you, but she's not running anymore, and she seems to be taking very deliberate steps. With your vision, you can see that there's some debris in the road, and she just sidesteps it like she's seen it a million times, goes past it, makes a left, goes down another part of the alleyway.
Okay.
So, as Lakin is following this child, Moriko, are you doing anything?
Moriko's trying to see if she can see any inclination of where Lakin may have gone.
Make a perception check at disadvantage, because there was no indication that he was going to leave, so you weren't looking. And then you're just, little, and then Chumbawamba's gone.
Chumbawamba. My low roll is a 21.
Fuck, guys! There's
Plus
two of
10,
them!
baby!
Lakin, I have shared a image with you of what the child looks like. You sit there for a minute, and you kind of, thankfully, since you're not having to really take control of the wagon, Cassie's doing all the work. She's just, following Tanaka. You have the ability to kind of spin around in your chair and look and see, like, oh god, did he fall off and got run over? Like, there was no thump. And as you're kind of glancing around, you see down an alleyway from one of the buildings that you're passing by, you see the somewhat familiar tattered garments of just like the tail end of it, like half a leg and his back as it disappears from view again, somewhere off to your left.
Well, that's suspicious.
What's suspicious?
As I say, as I
The cushions ask.
Immediate hand on the Pez head. Could you not do that? Remove the hand. Speak.
What's going on?
Lakin just went poof. I saw him go down the alleyway, but I'm guessing he saw something.
Huh.
He's a big guy. He'll be okay.
Okay. Look at us slink back in.
God, I hate that.
Down Periscope. Okay. Are you doing anything? You're just keeping on following Tanaka?
Following Tanaka and keeping a sharper eye out.
Okay. You go for one more stretch of buildings, and you had seen him off to your left, and you have dark vision, right?
Yeah.
Okay. As you get to the next alleyway, you see that he has turned, his back is now to you, and he's going down the alleyway. It's kind of, actually, what phase is the, oh, it's full moons, shit. Through
Wait,
the alley,
what?
yeah, both moons are full.
Oh, shit.
As you're looking down, you see Lakin's silhouetted form kind of haloed by the light of the moon bouncing off the harbor, just straight through the alleyway towards him. If you had not had dark vision, you would have still been able to make him out by the reflection being blocked by his form. And he's walking down a ways, and you kind of lean back in the bench as Cassie's still going, and you see him make another right turn, and you lose sight of him as more buildings get between you and him. He's wandering somewhere off there.
Did Moriko not see the kid?
Your large stature would have blocked it.
I would have been walking next to her.
She was been trying to keep some distance between herself and you. Are you like walking right beside her? Because I kind of thought you were just like following her from behind.
I'm walking right beside her.
Oh.
I'm not trying to be that creeper walking behind her.
I mean, you're following.
Hey,
a
little
small
girl
child.
wants
You've
some
already
candy.
You want to learn magic?
Come in my wagon.
Then with your 21 perception, I would say that you would have seen a smaller figure beside him. Like a little bit taller than his knee. Maybe very nearly halfway up his thigh. But from that distance, it's tough to tell if it was a child, a halfling, a gnome, just a...
Moriko's gonna send Fluff to go stay with Lakin. Because Moriko doesn't... She thinks if she leaves the wagon out of sight and misbehaves, she's gonna get...
Okay.
So, the Fluff.
So, little Fluff just disappears into the gloom very, very quickly, but has very good dark vision, knows exactly what he looks like, smells like, all of that. So Lakin, after a time, as you're walking along, you feel more than hear just the softest little touch on the top of your head. Actually, would Fluff land on the head or a shoulder, or would she just kind of like latch onto his back?
I think Fluff would go for the shoulder. Fluff is a parrot cat.
Okay, so just the lightest of touches on your shoulder as Fluff lands on your shoulder. Have we described Fluff to you? Can't remember.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Just making sure.
I would turn towards Fluff, pointing at the child, and I would say, "Look familiar to you?"
Mm-hmm. Then a little, and lands right. The child's shoulder is a little too small, so it lands right on the head and just kind of like flops. It just kind of starts like the child kind of like flinches a little bit and turns to look at you and realizes that you're not touching her, and a bit of a panic attack, just like, hey, starts flailing her arms around a little bit to get whatever has landed on it off. Make a dexterity saving throw for Fluff for me, Moriko.
Fluff gonna get
Should
swatted.
be Dexy.
Yeah?
Should be Dexy.
Yeah, she's rather Dexy. 21.
Fluff just full sploots and just like not really like latches on, but just like shrinks in size. Just goes full
Fluff
flat.
is mostly Fluff.
So Fluff doesn't get hit, but eventually does get grabbed by the child and pulled off and kind of not like yeet, but sort of like a meh. And Fluff just kind of tumbles in the air and kind of manages to catch itself and flutters back and lands back onto Lakin's shoulder. And it's now just looking at the child. Like I mean, like full dilation dinner plate, just looking at the kid.
You should tell Moriko.
I don't know a Moriko.
I was talking to Fluff, my bad.
What's Fluff?
Fluff is a companion for the woman I mentioned named Moriko. And she looks remarkably like you.
The child like comes to a full stop, and you see the like the gears in the head just got like ground to a stop.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a sister.
Get fucked.
Would you like to meet her?
I feel like I'm already breaking the rules talking to you, stranger.
Your parents, they await you, yes?
Kinda.
She starts to kind of like wring her hands a little bit.
They're not well.
Well, I am something of a doctor.
She looks you up and down, sees all the like scratches, marks, and like stitches and scars, and goes,
Uh-huh.
Through magic, my dear.
You must be really bad.
Well, if you would count my services not as accurate, I do have a cleric.
you see her kind of thinking, like there's the warring of, I've broken the rules and I've gotten caught. But they say they might help. Am I gonna get in trouble? Am Am I doing a good thing? There's a very clear war going on inside this child's head.
Just the metronome.
Perhaps I could weigh in on your thoughts. You are currently breaking the rules, are you not?
She kind of...
Not that you can prove.
But what if you were to come back with a mighty gift? I'd wager that would keep you out of trouble.
What kind of gift?
I lift my hand like straight up towards the sky, and I cast a sorceress blast of ice straight up.
How is that supposed to help?
Moriko should have seen it.
You,
Did she?
yeah, with your fucking rolls, yeah, I'm not even gonna fucking ask you at this point. Jesus fuck. You rolled 2 21s in a row. I mean, you had seen where Lakin was going, so you're kind of keeping an eye in that direction to see if you can catch sight of him again, and you just see this glittering spear just... Which, I mean, for you not being in a civilization, even to you, that's not normal.
Yeah, she's instinct full on shock collar Bidan. She's gonna do her own Misty Step down and rush in that direction.
Okay. The wagon is now pilotless.
No, there's still a Pez.
No, he awoogoed back down. He's not up there anymore.
Or did he?
Amongst the cushion.
Moriko Misty Steps appears there. He was on her back the whole time.
Oh God.
So, no, no, it wouldn't. You would need like a dimension door. So you poof. It doesn't quite get you to where he is, but it gets you off the wagon, away from sight of the guards and Tanaka that were leading the way, and you're kind of going down the alley, and you're going down, looking right, looking left, and then there's Lakin, who seems to be talking to a small child.
She was kind of rushing, so she kind of skids around the corner, and she's like, just like, what the fuck? Yet another word that she learned from the Tempests.
You're welcome.
Moriko, I have someone you should meet.
Thought you were getting in danger. What the
Of course not. That's
fuck?
preposterous.
What the fuck?
Your language. There is a child present.
Excuse you. I'm 27.
Yes,
It
like
used
I
to
said,
be around
there's a
children.
child present.
You see the mouth open, shut, and... Moriko?
Yes. Pulling up the
Oh.
Discord.
Where are you bees?
Moriko.
How are you?
Bring myself up to your top.
There we go. I was gonna say, we don't talk enough, apparently.
No.
What?
So it's...
What?
You see that she's wearing very, very simple robes. Leather straps that seem to be part of a harness. Nothing attached to it at the moment, but probably just a normal bit of clothing that she wears. Doesn't look very fancy, but it also doesn't look shabby and ratty. Like it looks commoner, but still fairly well maintained. And you see this small little girl kind of looking up at the big orc person, then back at you.
You don't look like a red guard.
I'm not. Who are you?
Oh, I am Ito Tamami.
Okay, I'm sure you've heard him say my name, but I'm Moriko. This is Lakin. She looks like, what are we doing here now?
This creepy man was following me. I just want to go home.
Oh, was that how it was?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. This child was snooping. And when I confronted said child, she made it out like it was a matter of trouble, her being out so late.
Didn't one of the guards mention, like, a curfew or something? Isn't a curfew when they can only stay out until a certain time and they have to be home?
Yes.
That's probably why she's not supposed to be out.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you not see what I'm seeing, Moriko?
I'm gonna roll to see if she actually notices.
Yeah, make an insight
I
check.
was gonna say, do you remember what you look like?
Yes, with your plus 100.
They didn't have mirrors in the jungles.
All she knows is that she's pink now. Purse this time. 26.
Perceptive bastard.
I know.
Well,
I'm using what was my siren dice.
that explains a lot. You haven't seen yourself too much, like some other people might be familiar with dressing themselves, making sure they're presentable. But even you've seen your reflection before. And while it's not identical, there's parts that make it seem like you're looking at a younger you. The eyes a little bit, the shape of her long pointed ears seem similar. You haven't seen any other elves, so it's difficult to really tell if it's just a similarity in races, because you've only ever seen one of you. But there is something nagging there that seems familiar.
I see what you see, but I think we really should either just let her go home or get her home and go back to the wagon, because I don't want to get zotzed.
Well, her loved ones are sick. And aren't we here to cure the sick?
Yes, but we're being taken to where they can get the moss, do what they need to do, and divvy it.
Very well.
I don't want to get in trouble.
How would you get in trouble? You're here on the Shogun's business.
Based on the history that I've had with this place, very easily.
I've been here for quite some time and haven't found myself in trouble at all.
Proud of you, now let's...
Fine, fine. Well, child, run along.
She kind of looks between the two of you for a moment and takes about 5 steps away before turning and looking between the two of you.
If you do have something that could help. Real revival repair. You can help Mom and Dad.
And then she takes off.
I look at Moriko.
What are you doing?
What?
That
Right.
child needed your help. You are capable, and yet you chose on the side of fear.
I don't know how the moss is used. The people that they're leading us to know how to use the moss. I want to make sure that it's used the proper way.
Maybe you didn't have to use the moss. Maybe that's not what these people are under ailment from. We don't know because we didn't go. Besides the fact that child is like you. And you should always seek to help out your own.
To be entirely honest, that is the first elf that I've come across since being stranded that I can remember. So I don't really have much basis to go off of.
I will not push the matter.
And to be entirely honest, I'm still very frazzled thinking that you were in danger and you weren't in danger. And she's just gonna turn and just quickly walk back to the cart.
I can keep up by walking normally.
She's being petty. She's gonna vamp away.
No.
Okay. It takes you a minute because the wagon has been just trundling along as you've made this little detour and stopped to have this conversation. But you do eventually get back to the wagon. Okay. And no one seems to notice that you're gone. Unless Pez has made a visit back above the surface.
I'm making a sculpture out of the springs and foam.
So as you approach the wagon, you hear plong, plang. You're able to get back to the wagon with no real fault.
Moriko's gonna go back up to the bench and be like, Cassie, did I miss anything during all that?
Nuh-uh.
Thank you.
I think we might be getting
I'll
close,
go
though.
up there with her.
I think we might be getting close. There's lights now.
And as you both just on top of the bench of the wagon, you can see that there are sparse lights. It's not as bright and populated as you would expect for this time of night for a normal town, village area, but you do see some lights. And the guards in front of you have come to a stop. And they seem to be conversing with Tanaka.
Moriko is trying to listen to see if she can hear anything.
Seems to be best that you can tell some pleasantries. Nothing overly aggressive. The guards and Tanaka both bow to each other. The guards turn and begin walking the opposite direction, and Tanaka seems to be walking towards the front of the wagon to speak up to you. Well, we are here. They don't wish to go any further for fear of catching whatever ails this part of Kudong Harbor. We are officially on our own.
Did they tell you who we should see with the moss so it can get used for the thing?
Yes, actually. There is a woman, Otohime. She is at the Kami's Blessings Temple. She is their local spiritual leader here, and from what they have said, she is at least a somewhat accomplished healer.
You know where?
No.
You didn't think to ask.
I also kind of figured we would rest for the night instead of bumbling our way through the night. In a town none of us have been in.
Okay, sassy pants. And she's gonna, like, sit back.
Get the shit out of that boat.
Did the cart stop?
Yes.
Where's
gonna
Tanaka? I'm sorry.
peek her head out. Why are we stopping?
The door, window, where are you poking out
Window.
from? Window, okay. You see Tanaka's right in front of the bay windows, and he had been looking up, talking to those up there. And he looks at you through the window. We are as far as the guards are willing to take us without fear of contracting the illness themselves, so we are on our own. I was suggesting that we stay here until it is daytime so that we do not... And he kind of turns and gestures towards the relatively dark village before we bumble our way through someone's pigsty.
I guess it is getting late. Moriko? She like calls for you, but she can't see you. Moriko's head just peers over the edge. Yeah. Do you know what time it is? Dark o'clock. Since you're our group, clock.
Group pocket watch.
DM, what time is it?
It's getting on to be about 9:15. It's late enough. You're not going into like the wee hours of the night, but it is bedish time for someone.
I'd say it's bedtime.
All right. And Kasumi like pops her head back in, and she goes to start making her evening tea.
Decaf.
I'm just watching you the whole time.
Where are you watching
Watching
from?
me make my tea.
The table.
Oh, okay. Just curious.
But I'm staring at you with big... Well, no, that's it. I don't think Moriko's seen this.
Moriko's up on the bench.
No, it's the full moons.
I'm aware.
On the bench.
She's
His
on the bench.
eyes. I'm aware.
I'm sitting over on the bench.
I'm saying his Zon's eyes change during full moons.
That's right. Yeah, Kasumi is making her tea, and she feels the eyes on her, and she looks over, and it's just like a quick glance, and she's just kind of like, oh, Jesus Christ.
What?
Oh, that's happening again, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Full moons.
Okay.
Or moon. Both. If it's both, that's even better.
Do you feel weird when that happens?
No, not really.
Okay.
Well, I feel weird because people it's because people stare, and my eyes kind of glow a little bit. Is Tanaka still outside?
Yeah, he's not come inside.
Yeah,
gonna
he's
jump scare him?
outside.
Can I see him out the bay windows?
Not anymore, no.
I want to open the door quietly, or walk over and then open the door and quietly walk out.
Okay. Make a stealth check.
16.
Okay, so you think you're pretty sneaky. What are you trying to do?
Can I look around and see Tanaka at all?
Nope.
Moriko. Psst.
What?
Where's Tanaka?
Why?
Zon's gonna jump up to the cart, grab on with his hands, and you just see here, and just see just nothing but 2 eyes, ears, but his eyes are purple, red, and swirling. And they glow.
Well, that's strange, Warrior Zon.
Yep, that's an even reflex. Bap! Whack a buddy.
Whack a buddy.
Why would you hit me?
You scared me. I did not realize it was you.
Well,
Yes, startle a wild child. That's real smart.
I saw no sweat in it. And hello, Lakin. Yeah,
Riku's
fine.
gonna just take a quick glance and just like point to where Tanaka is.
And where is that?
The other side of the cart. He seems to have found himself a smallish bench in front of one of the homes that he's kind of laid himself down on. One leg propped up, the other kind of sitting off the side of the bench, and he's just kind of got his hands on his chest and seems to be trying to settle in.
I'm gonna walk over and softly poke him.
He doesn't open his eyes. He just lays there. Yes,
Are you sure you don't want to stay in the car?
very sure.
All right. John will turn and walk back towards the cart then.
Okay.
Oh.
Anything else?
I'm gonna go back inside, watch Kasumi do her decaf.
Okay.
She kind of purposely avoids eye contact with you because she just
Do I make you
doesn't.
uncomfortable?
Yes, you do.
Oh. Oh,
I just-
okay.
It's
Zod will slouch and then walk up to the bay window chairs and sit in it so nobody could look at him. I'm a monster!
because they kind of mumbles to herself. She's like, "You asked, okay." And she gets her tea.
Okay. Is anybody doing watches, or are you just resting through the night? You're gonna do a watch?
First watch.
I'm gonna do a watch.
Okay.
I don't sleep.
I'll do 2 or 3 then.
I'll do all the watches.
I guess I'll do 2 then.
Okay. So, Lakin doing all. Moriko said 1. Biz said
sleep.
3.
I don't sleep. I don't know.
Kasumi, which watch would you like to take?
I'll take first watch too.
Okay. Zan.
Dos.
2?
Dos más.
Okay. So, Pez and Zan, you go and set yourselves down for a rest. Lakin, Moriko, and Kasumi, you decide to stay up and keep watch. Where are you sitting? Are you staying inside? Are you going up to the top of the wagon?
At the top.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the pink one.
Kasumi was gonna go to the very top
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of lay flat on her stomach with like her arms like sitting on the ledge of the front, just so she can see around, but also so she can kind of like lounge.
Okay. So the 3 of you are on the top of the wagon. Both moons are bright in the sky, making it very easy for you to see what's going on. Also, just random note, their names are Kalpamos and Lavis. If anyone was curious what the moons are called.
Yes, actually.
Oh, I'll write them down for you in a minute here.
Yes, please.
Same.
Make perception checks for me, please.
Oh no.
$16.
16. Nice.
A 10.
God, you suck.
And a 30.
Yes. You rolled a natural 20 plus 10.
I don't ever want to hear you guys complain about my rolls again, ever.
I have a double-edged sword, okay?
I'd like to see the other edge.
I'm trying to find my notes on
It's awesome. I love it.
I don't know where those are, and that kind of really bothers me. Okay. Are the 3 of you doing anything on your watch as I try to find this information that I'm rapidly searching for?
Riku's gonna sit there a second before just kind of like side-eyeing Lakin and just like, are you actually upset at me?
It depends. Did you do the right thing or the wrong thing?
Since everything that's happened, I don't know.
Moriko, what did you do? You just hear a whisper from
He followed a child that's kind of looked like me, but maybe it could have just been because she was a little elf. And then he got mad at me because I did not specifically follow her to her parents that are sick, because the moss is supposed to help all the sick people. And I want to make sure that we use the moss properly.
You followed a small child in the middle of the night through dark alleys?
I mean, when you put it like that.
And then he made me think that he was in trouble because he threw up the light thingy, and I thought he was in danger, and I panicked. Then when I got there, he wasn't in danger, and I was frazzled.
Firstly, I am grateful that you are coming to my aid, because if it were dangerous, that shows good companionship. Secondly, this child I spied from afar, I did not know was a child until I arrived. And when I saw the similarities, I thought a kindred spirit with Moriko was unique, especially with her race being elven. The resemblance was uncanny.
Just because she was an elf?
More than just the pointy ears. Her facial expressions. Her makeup and structure. She looked like she could have been a sister.
Well, and you said that her parents were sick, right?
Yes.
Well, that's what we're doing, though. We're getting the moss to the people that know what to do with it.
We did not know, and we still do not know, what this ailment is. We now know that it affects those of elven bloodline. We don't know if it is the same disease that is affecting the harbor. Gathering reconnaissance makes our job easier.
Well, but we're still doing what we are tasked to do. We're taking a break for the evening, and we're going to be traveling the rest of the way tomorrow.
And Tanaka left out the little gem where he doesn't know where this Otama person is.
Well, to be honest, he hasn't known half the stuff that we're supposed to be doing anyways.
But I found it curious that the other Red Guards knew so much.
I mean, we have our heading, right?
The place where it is darkest.
On the plus side, the little girl did tell us where to find her and her parents, if we can help them.
Okay. Well, then if we figure out how this moss is supposed to help, we can stop by.
Let us hope we do not arrive too late.
Perhaps not.
Interesting outlook, Kasumi.
Why?
Your hither-thither moral compass. Would darkness stop us if it was a rampaging beast assaulting this town?
No, but there's no beasts? Like, she looks confused.
Very well. I will sit in quiet contemplation.
Okay. Well, Tanaka was the one that primarily wanted to stop this evening, so that's why we're here.
Because he's made the best decisions these past few days.
Well, he's also kind of somewhat in charge of whether or not we get zapped.
I saw what it did to Pez. I don't want to experience that.
We should still be careful. The rest of you are susceptible to such maladies. We know that it does affect elven bloodlines. Who knows what it will do to a kobold and a bunny?
Can he get sick?
I do not know.
I still kind of feel bad for bopping him, but he scared me.
Oh. Did he sneak up on you with his weird eye thing today?
Yeah, he kind of like came over the ledge and instinct took over and I just...
Yeah. It's a little alarming when you first see it.
No one warned me.
It's a short-term thing. He'll be back to normal soon.
Okay.
I'm
still
surprised
gonna
you did
apologize in the
not
morning.
bot me when you first saw me.
Well, it was startling because it's dark, and all of a sudden thing come over the edge with eyes.
You have
Excuses.
piercing sight. Especially on this fully lit, moonlit night. And how many other bunnies are there?
I don't know.
How many have you seen? Interesting.
I mean, if you want to be thumped, I could thump you on the head. That's fine. I have the ability to do that.
Will it make you feel better?
She likes to stare and she tilts her head. No, I don't think it will.
Don't know until you try.
I'd rather not hurt you.
Yes. That is a problem, I guess. The feelings of others.
Yeah, well, I also don't really know how to hit people softly.
You Tempests
could teach
might
you.
be interesting.
What'd you say, Moriko?
Fluff could teach her how to hit softly. Fluff does 100% of the effort, 0% of the damage.
Put Fluff on hand, punch.
You say this, and you come to the realization that Fluff isn't there.
Immediate panic. In trying to find the Fluff.
Arms disappearing in the hair, checking around the clothes. No Fluff.
She's gonna look to Lakin. I sent Fluff to keep an eye on you. Where's Fluff?
I imagine somewhere near.
Immediately stand up and just start looking around Lakin, actually lifting his arm and looking through his clothes.
TSA pat down.
Yes.
No sign of Fluff.
I wonder where she could have gone.
The temptation to bop you like I did Zahn.
I think he's asking for it.
Sorry.
Or perhaps Fluff is with the little girl.
Why would Fluff go with a stranger?
Curious. I do not know the makeup of this creature, but this Fluff seemed to recognize what I did.
Do you have a way to talk to your creature through your head? I know Brick used to do that with his owl thing.
Fluff can communicate to me through my head, but it's one way. She can communicate with me, but I can't. I have to vocalize with her, and it's very
okay.
rudimentary. It's basically just basic emotions and concepts.
Okay.
She has not sat back down. She's starting to get really jittery and antsy.
I mean, if you need someone to help you look for your friend.
Perhaps you and Kasumi should go look for Fluff. I can maintain the watch here well enough.
He's gonna look at Kasumi, please.
Okay. Well, you are better at finding things with your eyes. I can sneak up on things and snatch them if you need me to.
Moriko, do you remember how I signaled you with that blast of magic?
Yeah.
Are you capable of doing something like this?
Kind of. Yes.
I can as well.
Middle of the
One
night, you just see a
shot.
boat sailing through the fucking air. She made a tree just yeet a yacht.
I also have
Catapult.
firebolt.
And
One
frostbite.
shot into the air, and the cavalry will come to you.
Okay, and she's just gonna rush down to the ground.
Tell the others on your way out.
Are you telling the other? I mean, Moriko jumped off the roof. Kasumi, are you following suit?
Sorry, I was looking to see if I had any spells or anything that could help us. But before Kasumi jumps down, she's just gonna like put her hand on the card and be like, "All right, Cassie, if anyone asks, we'll be back. We're looking for Fluff." And then she leaps off.
You hear the faintest Doppler whisper
Okay.
as you kind of jump away from Cassie's proper range of speaking. So, Lakin, you see the two of them scurry off into the darkness. You sit there for a minute, and you hear Cassie's voice beside you.
You're gonna be okay, right?
Yes, I believe it.
Cool. Cool. Okay.
I would like to. We don't have to roleplay this. I'm going to pull out my large journal and I'm going to talk with Cassie about everything involving Cassie. How did she come to be? Her story. And I want to put pen to paper about it.
Oh, so I was once a little tiny dinosaur, and I think they called it the Night Kingdoms or something. I don't remember. But then I got big, really big, and I was able to pull stuff, big stuff. And then I got too big, and they couldn't fit me in anything. And then these guys, I love these guys because they let me pull.
And you kind of hear the front wheels that are able to turn kind of wiggle a little bit, kind of like excited dog waggling.
I got to pull this for a bit, but then they left me alone, and they went. I don't know where they went, but they were gone for a while, and there were some really nice people. I think they called him a tuckle or something. I don't know. Big hard shell on his back. No one could say his name. It's really funny. And then I think I died. And then
The wheels stopped for a second, and then they kind of vibrate a bit more.
and now I'm this.
You even like hear the front door kind of like from the other side of the wagon.
Yeah.
Very interesting life you have lived and continue to live.
I don't have to sleep anymore.
Neither do I.
I get to watch them sleep.
Yes, you do?
Pez sleeps funny.
Does he always come out of the cushions like that?
It tickles.
Do you like that?
I don't not like it. It doesn't hurt.
Very well.
So Lakin and Cassie are going to go into the deepest of conversations about immortality and the meaning of life and what kind of dinosaur.
She was a massive hadrosaur. Through the description she's able to give you, just kind of the duckbill kind of style, but she says that she was big, like she was bigger than all the other ones. She doesn't know why, but she was just very, very, very big. Yeah.
To the girls.
Yep. Okay, so the two of you set off. Oh, what sort of check do I want to make you two suffer through?
Uh-oh.
Murder.
Kasumi is being very stealthy.
Moriko, are you just fuck stealth, or?
Moriko's actually going to wild shape into a wolf to follow scent.
Okay.
Oh.
Because I'm pretty sure Moriko would know Fluff's scent.
Well, if you do that, then Kasumi's going into fox form.
Okay.
Fox and wolf. Fox and wolf.
Then I'm gonna need both of you to, well, first off, make a survival check as you were tracking. Secondly, if you're doing this stealthily, I will need a stealth check from you both. As the small white fox is trailing with a giant pink wolf.
Did you need us both to roll for survival or just for her?
No, both. Well, either individually or if you want to give her advantage, you can.
I'll give her advantage.
Okay.
So would I use my own stats for it?
For survival? Yes, I believe when you wild shape, you keep your wisdom, intelligence, and charisma modifiers.
Okay. Oh, I'm good at survival.
Oh, she's warming them up. She's...
Mm-hmm.
You fucker. What'd you get?
29.
Jesus. And was that with advantage from Kasumi helping?
Oh no, that was just straight. Let's see what I did with the second roll. And then 20. 29.
Nah. We're not gonna remember that one.
No. That was survival.
Yeah. So, are you being stealthy? Do you care?
Moriko does not care.
Kasumi here.
Yeah, she's stealthing.
Okay.
I rolled a 26.
I was gonna say stealth at disadvantage because with Moriko not being stealthy, you're trying to be stealthy, but you also need to be keeping up, so it's a lot more difficult.
It's still a 26 because I rolled higher.
Cool. So Kasumi is able to slink through the shadows, but also not slink through the shadows because of how dark it is and how the pale moonlight tends to desaturate and decolor everything. It's actually to Kasumi's benefit, being as white as she is. She's, instead of hiding in the shadows, she's hiding in the moonlight. So Moriko, every now and then you have to stop and try to see that Kasumi's still following you, but then you see moonlight moving. And you're like, cool, great. And you're still sniffing around on the ground trying to find Fluff. The first thing you do is you try to backtrack to where you feel like was the last time that you encountered the child. It had been a little while ago. But soon enough, you pick up Lakin's scent. You pick up your own scent. You pick up the child. You don't pick up Fluff's scent immediately. Between your own familiar odor and Lakin's, it's a bit much. There's also a decent breeze coming from the sea that's nice and salty, but you do see the footprints, small footprints of the child leading away, and that is your immediate kind of go-to to start following. You get the faintest hint of Fluff, but it's being a bit more overpowered by the scent of the girl. Kind of like how you normally wouldn't smell Fluff because Fluff is in your hair and just kind of like part of you. It seems that the other scent is masking over it, but you have your heading. So at the very least, you are following the child, whether or not Fluff is actually there.
Mm-hmm.
So you keep on following. You zigzag quite a bit, but it doesn't seem to be random movement. It's very determined. There's no, it doesn't seem like there's much sense of like real urgency, like decently spaced steps, like maybe a little bit of a jog, but all the foot placements seem to be very sure of themselves. Like they've done this path a few times now. And the smell of the sea gets stronger and stronger and stronger as you are getting closer to the waterfront. Going through some of the darker areas, you've moved more towards the lit up area where you had basically parked right outside of. So if you had the wagon, you'd backtracked into the darkness of where people had been evacuated, and you started making your way further into the lit part of the village. Few lanterns are on. Those ones, you see Kasumi very specifically dodging away from them. No one seems to be outside. Everyone seems to be indoors. And as you're going along, you're hearing coughing from one home. Groaning and moaning from another one. Someone that sounds like they're in severe discomfort. More coughing further on. It seems to be from almost every structure. There's some sound of discomfort, of people being ill. The footsteps that you've been, little tiny footprints that you've been following have shortened. Seems that the girl has started to walk by this time that you're kind of catching up to her scent. And again turns and seems to be going directly towards the water. You're now big wolf on wooden planks, claws clicking against, the wood floor, and you're not even on dirt anymore. You're basically walking on a pier. Are you staying in wolf form?
She's gonna shift back to human form.
Okay. Kasumi, are you staying me?
She'll kind of come and crouch by her and shift back.
Okay.
What is it?
Somewhere around here. It's kind of hard to follow the scent because of this sea air.
Oh, she's near the docks?
That's where the scent led.
Can you try calling for her?
Crap, I remember the first half of her name. The first half of her name was Ito. I don't remember the second half. Damn. Like, Isa.
So tempted to make you roll for this, but I think that Moriko would have remembered. Tamami.
Tamami, okay.
Yeah. Tamami.
Okay. And work brain has me dead, so I'm gonna write that down for a second. She's gonna hesitate a second, but just Ito, not a loud shout, but slightly raised voice.
Okay, you call out and wait a moment. No reply.
She's gonna try to whistle for Fluff.
Okay. You let out a whistle. No response that you can really hear. You hear more coughing from one of the structures back behind you, and a light turns off.
Do I see anything on the pier? Leading in the direction that the scent seemed to be going?
Make a perception check for me. Are you staying put, or are you actually kind of wandering further out to the pier?
Her head's on a swivel and she's slowly making her way towards the pier.
Okay.
brain, eyes. Come on. 19.
19. As you're wandering along, more and more of the lights begin to shut off as it gets to be that time of night where families and people are just going to bed. You get to the dock area. You're looking around. There's nothing immediately familiar or anything that would point you to a small creature like Fluff. But you do see a tree in front of a homestead with a dock going out into the water. The tree looks kind of familiar to you, though the color is all gone because of the darkness. It looks like a cherry blossom tree.
She's gonna go with her gut instinct and she's gonna dash over to there.
Moriko's booking it.
Kasumi's going back into fox form and bonus action dash.
Okay. You dash off towards the home with the tree. All the lights are off.
Tui, can you help me suss out to see if you see like a little girl with elf ears?
Kasumi?
Do the thing!
Do the thing!
She's a little girl, dark hair, tan or light skin. She probably has Fluff. You can't miss Fluff.
You see the little fox at your feet just nod and then just like sloop down to the ground nice and low and start looking to see if she can find either windows with ledges or ways to get into the house without being detected.
There's a fair few ways to get into these homesteads. These ones you are very, very familiar with how to get into. Sliding doors, windowsills, there's plenty of options. Is there a preference? Do you want to go for a window? Do you want to go for opening a door?
She's gonna try to go for the window, because she's gonna try to peer in without physically going in if she can, just depending on how visible it is.
Okay, make a sleight of hand check for me.
Okay, I can definitely do that.
Really don't know why I bother, but I wanted you to roll dice for some reason, so it's like we're
Shiny
playing a
math
game or
rocks.
something.
Okay,
Shiny math rocks.
That is a 24.
24. You hop up on the windowsill. Moriko, where are you standing for this? Are you just kind of standing in front of the door? Are you like...
No, she's kind of staying off to the side, like back against the, like trying to stay close to the building, but also trying to stay close just in case she can like get any notice that Kasumi did find Fluff.
Okay. So as Kasumi, noodles along and jumps up onto the windowsill, you kind of sneak around the corner and just kind of keeping an eye. Kasumi just kind of like flaps open the window just a little bit. It seems to slide open easily enough. It doesn't seem like there's many locks or real protective devices here. And as you peer inside, make a perception check for me. Unless you're actually going to go in and start looking, and then it would be investigation.
She's gonna try to just peer from the window to start, so we'll do
Okay.
perception. Okay, just drop that on the floor.
Yeah, you weren't using it.
All right, well, dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Wow. So you flap the window open a little bit, and Moriko, you see the little fox head kind of shove inside. Kasumi, you peer around, and you see 4 figures inside. 2 of them are laying on a bed in the back corner of the abode. Shrouded in darkness, very difficult to make anything more than just shapes in the sheets. One of them seems to be quivering slightly and you hear a cough. Peering further in, kind of down to your right, you see two more figures. One is a taller figure. Their back is turned to you. And on the side between you and the taller figure is a short girl, laying down, facing towards you, knocked out cold, mouth slightly open, sleeping, and gently tucked in her arms. Doesn't look like she's forcing it. Fluff is just asleep.
Kasumi is going to hop back down and run back over to Moriko. And she's gonna make sure she's in like a crouched position before she shifts back. And she's like, I found Fluff. The little girl is cuddling with Fluff in this hut.
Moriko's just like, she stole my Fluff.
Well, I don't think she stole her, because Fluff looked quite comfortable. But if you go to that window I just came from, you should be able to see them. You might be able to call for him. But I think there's two people that seem ill. The little girl that's holding Fluff is asleep, and there's someone else, but I couldn't quite see them. They had their back to me.
Moriko's immediately just gonna peer over and like look into the window.
I mean, with your own like passive perception, you're able to see easily enough. The little girl is laying there, and again, like how I said with Kasumi, the arm is kind of around, but Fluff is just, both paws, chin on the arm, seems completely content, just sleeping away.
He's gonna try to like whisper out Fluff's name. I need to get that.
The eyes open, and you kind of see the paws do the little like wake up biscuits.
She's just like,
kind of wriggles out of the arm, hops over, does a little happy trot like nothing's wrong, and flies up to the windowsill, lands there, kind of plants her butt down, tilts her head.
What are you doing?
Just kind of looks back inside and looks at you, and looks back again and back at you.
Moriko's gonna like try to scoop up Fluff.
No resistance. Pick up Fluff.
Into the hair.
Okay.
You just see the shoulders relax and it's like, okay, let's go back.
Okay. Are we just walking back? I'm assuming.
I'm not gonna go wolf, but we should probably be quiet.
I can do that.
I can do that. Can you do that?
Can you?
The question is, can Moriko do that? She's gonna try to be like a little quieter and not as assuming going back this time.
Okay. Stealth check for me then.
Let's see how bad I roll. 14.
14.
22.
22. You follow after Kasumi. You're not being terribly quiet, but you're also not like slamming into a barrel and knocking it down 3 flights of stairs. Without your padded wolf feet, it's, a little bit more thumpy thump with the feet, but the lights are all turning off or have been turned off at this point. You don't see or hear any movement. You do kind of notice that there seems to be a distinct lack of patrols that you'd kind of gotten used to seeing, both being around the lumber yard and inside of Chunsu. There's no patrols. This, apart from the sounds of the waves hitting the shoreline, there's really no noise, except for the occasional hacking cough, general sickness around you. And within a fairly short amount of time, now that you kind of have your bearing, you know which way north isn't. you're able to get back to the wagon relatively quickly.
The whole way back, Moriko is just like hand on Fluff.
You're going nowhere.
So eventually, Lakin, you see both the girls trotting back towards the wagon.
Is Fluff still in your hair?
Yep.
Did Fluff tell you why they left?
No, she's being a little shit.
Oh. Well, it's probably getting close to the next watch time, right? Anything happened while we were gone? She looks at Lakin.
I was having a very interesting conversation with Cassie.
Oh.
But other than that, unless the dungeon master says otherwise, it was copacetic.
I don't know what that word means. No, everything went perfectly smoothly. You had a lovely conversation with Cassie. You can tell that she's really smart for what she was, what she is. Some of that may have been a factor of her size or just being around this group for so long that, you know, they've taught her inappropriate things or whatever. But
bad influences, all of them.
Right.
How could you pass?
There is a little bit of, for lack of a better word, denseness, like just some concepts she doesn't understand and kind of bumbles her way through that, but fairly entertaining conversation.
Were you successful in your venture?
Yes. Not too happy with Fluff, but Fluff is home.
Interesting.
Fluff is home.
Like, hand on Fluff, you ain't going nowhere, bitch. It's like forcing your cat to take a nap with you, locking him in the room with you.
I've done it.
Yeah.
It seems Fluff found a kindred spirit in that little girl.
I'm gonna go lay down. I'm tired now.
Very interesting.
I'll wake Zahn up. So, Kasumi goes back in the cart and finds Zahn. Zahn, where are you sleeping?
Still asleep in the big chairs in front, bay windows.
Okay, she walks up and like pokes him and she's like, time to wake up.
No, I didn't sleep.
Yeah, and then your eyes open. She's like, huh, okay, I'm going to bed.
What?
Your eyes, it's just...
Yes, I know, I
can't
horrify you.
I can't get used to it.
It's okay, I'm a monster, I know.
We'll find you some glasses.
What? Glasses.
They're like little circles of glass that you can put over your eyes. Usually,
No,
I think
glasses are things that you put beverages into as a drink.
that is a different definition.
It would look very silly wearing those on my face. I will be fine. I will be fine.
Okay, I'm gonna go to bed.
Moriko went inside to the bedroom.
Okay. Ladies head to their usual spot in the master bedroom. Moriko, I'm assuming, probably locks the door.
And in the windows.
In the windows.
Any windows.
Okay.
Oh, I was like, geez, I'm not that fucking scared. Oh, that Fluff. Yeah, that's right.
Well, no, you don't know any of this. You hear them go up there and hear clink, 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 gunk, gunk. You're like,
Sure.
just like...
And Moriko's gonna fall into the trance, curl up on her side, like holding Fluff to her chest.
Kasumi wanders in and just sees...
Consequences of my actions.
So, Zahn.
I guess I walk up the swirly stairs and go up top to properly keep watch.
Okay. Lakin seems to be up there with his book open.
Zahn will plop himself behind Lakin, sure.
Like back to back?
Oh, that's gay. You're gay.
Okay, fine. Front to front.
Damn. That
You
shit's
can,
even more...
you can be the big spoon. I don't give a fuck.
No, I'm just sitting behind the bench.
Okay.
I'm not being quiet about it. I'm not sneaking up or anything.
Warriors on.
That is me. Groggy, but me.
How was your nap?
Was nice. But till Kasumi woke me up, told me I was horrifying and a monster, and I should probably never look at her again.
You are many things, Warriors on, but I would not say a monster.
That is wishful thinking.
Take it from someone who's very familiar with the term.
If you say so.
I give like a warm chuckle after that.
So are you, writing more in your booky thing?
Yes, I have found over the years that categorizing events keeps my mind more engaged.
So if you don't, then how does your mind disengage?
It is not a deterioration, but more of a staying sharp.
Ah, yes, I see.
Your eyes.
But
Is it the moon that elicitates this?
that would be correct.
Do you know why?
9. I know as it looks like where I come from. It's on just crosses
Have you
his
seen
eyes.
others?
Wait, what?
Have you seen others with eyes like yours?
I don't think so.
Interesting.
But scares the shit out of Kasumi.
Well, as we know, things that people do not understand often cause fear.
I know. Like books and learning.
You could learn a great deal by opening a cover every now and again.
I do open covers. It's not of books.
That witty humor will never grow tiring for me, friend.
Yes. So nothing of notice? Nothing eventful. That's what I was going to think. Nothing eventful. Just very sick coffee night.
Not during watch, no.
You see the radar dishes moving. Oh no, it's still definitely going on right now.
I meant besides the coughing.
Oh, yes. No, okay, yeah. Yes.
There, let's see. Moriko had to go retrieve fluff from a little girl who looks remarkably like her.
How like are they talking about? Like potato,
Well-
tomato?
More like potato.
I'm not familiar with potatoes.
The little one was an elf and had the same facial structure as Moriko. It was more so than how I would look compared to another orc, but they looked similar.
So are they like same height? Or is she also
No.
pink?
No, she is not pink, and she is about half as tall. She is a child.
How young is she? Or did she even say? I don't know. It's probably
27.
Like, if we need to talk about what a child is.
Her species lives a lot longer than those of others. She has not yet reached her adulthood.
If you say so. I don't know, 27 seems quite adulty to me.
She was very mischievous.
Yeah, it sounds like Moriko.
That was such a fast response. Holy shit.
I was waiting for it.
Well, maybe we will bump into this little girl again. And I can see just how similar she is for myself.
Her parents, I have come to understand, are not faring well.
The girl?
Yes.
I mean, it does not seem like anybody in the city is faring well currently.
Well, I attempted to get Moriko to at least follow the breadcrumb trail so that we may know a little bit more about what we're getting into.
She's tasting
This.
food.
I'm going to use smaller words.
So just no, I understand. She's also why are you flicking me off? I didn't do anything.
But you.
Oh,
Not
okay. It's like, what I do this time? I probably did it, but I don't know what I did. So this is fine.
We are going into this with very little intelligence. It is bothersome about how this will affect each of you.
How that will affect me?
If this illness can affect those of your kind.
I'm a priest. To be fair, they are usually somewhat resistant to this kind of thing. Not immune, but... So I not look like it, I have but a holy aura around myself.
You have a butt aura?
A holy aura. God.
A butthole aura?
Well, that was an exposure.
Yes. It's quite exposed. And full of holes.
All I'm saying is we must be careful how we proceed.
Yes. When you do proceed with that, you should be careful.
Gotta wipe your tracks.
Can I Eldritch Blast the Dungeon Master?
You can try.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
And I cast it through Zach's fist.
Oh yay, we gotta have a break here probably.
I have,
ding ding.
I have 10 magic resistances right here.
I have 22.
I'm sorry. There's the immaturity that I love so much from this group.
All the time. So, man, it's been a long time. Seems like these 4 hours go by pretty fast.
Apart from the occasional coughing fit that your radar dishes are able to hear in the distance, the night goes relatively without fault. You as well notice that there's really no patrols, that you've kind of become used to being in these more civilized towns. Yeah, well, I mean, compared to Rokasing, where basically if you get mugged, it's your own fucking fault for getting mugged, kind of a place.
Yes, you should be stronger.
Exactly. So you're like, this is somewhat similar, maybe. But your watch goes without much incident. So, if you're ready to go and wake up Pez.
Isn't he under Lakin?
You can check.
I will insert paw into cushion.
Pez, are you there or are you under the table?
Going to nibble upon paw.
Scheiße! Don't do that. I need those to kill things. And to drink beer.
He tastes good.
To stay very far away from my hands.
Oh god, he's tasted flesh.
He lives on a farm! He's surrounded by flesh!
He's tasted bunny flesh.
You stay away from me. I will make kobold stew.
My turn.
That would be correct.
Cool.
Zahn will pat kobold on head. I'm going to go back to sleep. Lakin, thank you for your company. I'm going to go sleep. And maybe scare Kasumi. Wait, what? What am I?
I said, have a good sleep, warrior.
Yes, my sleep will be mighty. And I will go back down to my bay window chair and sleep mightily.
Okay. Doing a real good job making sure that chair doesn't fly away.
Bite me, coward.
All right, so as you were very rudely woken up with a hand in your face, which you retaliate appropriately for.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you would like to do during your watch, sir? Along with Lakin, of course.
I am watching during my watch.
Are you watching for anything in particular? Didn't think that far ahead, did you?
Nope. Didn't think I'd be alive this far.
Dungeon Master, can I see Tanaka from up here?
Yeah, he's where you left him. He's no longer laying on his back. He's kind of curled up on the bench a little bit, but he hasn't really moved apart from just turning in his sleep. Pez, you rolled some dice. What'd you get for perception?
I didn't roll, but I was going to ask if I could observe or try to see if there are any critters out and about.
Critters.
Like what
okay.
kind of critters?
Make a perception check and we'll see what your kobold eyes see.
They see shit.
What'd you roll?
8.
Much like you have seen in the passing weeks in the Takatari dynasty, the animal noises that you had experienced in the Yutsushige forest is not the norm. You don't see much of any movement critter-wise. The only thing you hear is that dreaded sound of wet.
My one fear.
Water.
I'm gonna grab the little sculpture that I was working on, which is like a little tiny, crude version of hamburger. Just set it next to me.
Okay.
I'm just gonna observe until I'm either A, called upon, or B, until everyone else wakes up. Or until C, a finger.
What is that little device there, Bez?
This?
Yes.
Well, it was ham. Well, I was trying to make hamburger, but I mean, kind of just a loose conglomeration of springs and a cushion.
Tell me of this hamburger.
Little tiny, velociraptor with, kind of pretty looking feathers. I actually have one of those feathers still.
I'll take off my hat and pull out the bone feather that I still have and hand it to him.
He went out with a bang. But, he was kind of bestowed upon me by a god.
By a deity.
Yeah.
And he has passed.
Yeah. But I mean, the god, Mr. the Coyote, he did say that he is out there somewhere, like reincarnated and reconfigured into something bigger.
But you don't know where.
As a matter of fact, I do know where, and it is where we need to go next, of which is your neck of the woods.
And we should see to this ally of yours. Post haste.
I think once we wrap up this whole moss thing, then we should be good to go, but I don't really want to rush anyone, because, again, I am out of my depths. I don't know where I am. This air smells right, and I hate it.
Well, then I have a task for you, Bez.
Alright.
Make or try to persuade Moriko. She has a great fear of the ocean.
I can do
You
that.
see where I'm going with this?
Oh, I see all the ways this can go wrong.
Tranquilizers.
Haunts tranquilizers.
No, I'm pretty sure I could convince, because I do not like the big blue wet thing. Big blue wet.
Very well.
So how are you?
I had a very engaging conversation with Cassie.
Oh. Yeah, she tends to get kind of deep. Like, really deep.
Yes, I was able to write 37 pages of notes from her.
Oh, that's all? Wow. I thought it would have been a little bit more. Cassie, what
Well-
are you holding out on him?
Nothing.
You killed a man.
He was asking for it.
True?
Then I dubbed thee Warrior Cassie. Slayer of evil.
Don't know what that first part means.
It means you kill good.
I like it.
You fight for what is right, Cassie.
They were attacking my home.
And you defend it to the last.
Yeah.
I think we will find much success.
For the record, I'm not a fan of the wet either.
Perhaps it will hearten you to know that I am quite comfortable with what you refer to as the wet.
I'm pretty sure I
My
can also
patron
help
is
out.
Seto.
Wait. Seto. Oh, that's the one that Kasumi and I donated to. Yeah. We threw some money and some coins and a statue. Trying to make sure that we don't get swamped. And yet we still got swamped by some giant snake monster critter with huge, and I mean massive, ego. Very, very big ego. Two of them. Yeah.
As long as the rites are conferred and the offerings made, Seto will not hinder us.
Which means all of this continues to go back to being Zon's fault. Because again, that thing was after Zon. Or maybe Brick, but most likely Zon. 99% Zon.
Huh.
You nod your head. Fuck you, God.
I know something you don't know. Doodah, doodah.
Anyway, I have been meaning to ask you. Are you good with ranged weapons?
I am a ranged weapon.
I mean, you don't have to tell me twice, but if I were to give/make you a ranged weapon, would you use it?
Are you capable of making a focus for the arcane?
I could tinker. Might take a while, but yeah.
If you were to make me a weapon, Pez, I would use it until the cracking of the world.
Alright, it's a challenge. I'll do it. Also, did you happen to feel something in your giblets whenever we're like close to each other because of these here bracelets that we got from those tree beards?
We wish to fight together.
Yeah, it's like my normal, like whenever I'm around people, I feel feral in more of a feral way. But now with this, I feel doubly feral with you near me.
Feral is in the sense of you wish to fight me.
No, not fight you, fight with you. Like, maybe what we could do is during our next battle, which hopefully won't be for a while because killing takes a lot out of me, but anyway, maybe I could mount up on you and use you like a platform to shoot from.
I am more than happy to accommodate this.
Sweet.
However, you
because-
must understand something.
Yeah.
As I wish to be 100% honest with you.
Go for it.
There is a side of me that you and the others have not seen.
Mhm.
That side of me is more beast than the coherent talking individual that is speaking to you now.
Hmm.
It is a... To say the word gift is not accurate. It is more of a side effect.
Hmm.
I cannot explain to you what happens, but when a great foe presents themselves, I become more powerful. An embodiment of fear.
Hmm. That's terrifying.
That is why I wish to tell you ahead of time.
Well, if I see something that looks similar to you, or at least vaguely like you, while we're in combat, then I will not prioritize you.
If it comes to it, I will get myself far away from you.
Is this like something explosive?
Not explosive, just... I saw how Moriko reacted to Zon's eyeballs.
Yeah, freaky.
And you saying the word creepy when it come to multicolored irises. This is like that, but a horrifying monstrosity being released upon an environment.
Well, color me impressed or intrigued. I'll be looking forward to seeing what this is. But I'm just gonna say I'm glad I wear brown pants. Just as a precaution.
Look forward to meeting this hamburger.
And I look forward to meeting this eldritch horror that you become.
That is a good way to put it.
Okay.
I will now tell Pez the intricacies of summoning a corpse.
Why would you do this to us?
Because he is an ally and he is intrigued by tinkering, and it is a very peculiar way that I reanimate the dead.
I mean, who knows? Pez could be the father of the Borg.
I knew he wanted to raise a family one day, but fuck.
Ha 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 ha! Done dead
Okay.
jokes.
As you take the time to explain the intricacies of necromancy, your watch eventually begins to come to an end as the night gives way to day. The sky turning from the dark purplish blues into the brighter yellowy orange pastels of dawn. And that's where we're going to take a quick break. So we'll be back in just a little bit. Ugh.
Bit it.
Pez is fucking worn off of me. I need a break. We'll be back here in just a few minutes, so don't go too terribly far, and we'll get back into whatever is about to happen.
Oh, wow.
All right. And
You guys
we
are
are
safe.
back. So, daylight begins to rise. Pez and Lakin are sitting on top of the wagon. Moriko has death-gripped Fluff. So, what would you all like to do as the morning sun greets you?
I am sleeping.
I wake everyone up gently,
Define gently.
not with a gun.
Disappointed.
Hey, everybody, wake up!
I done that before.
He has.
Uh-huh.
I was mad. I remember I was mad.
Didn't I also shoot a
really
bird out of the
funny.
sky when I did that?
I wouldn't doubt it. So, what's the plan?
Find
Uh,
the
we-
Otahime.
Yeah.
Were we saying
Sumi's
Pez?
doing her normal tea routine, so.
Got it.
I was just gonna say we need to find the person.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, it's a good thing Moriko remembers the name of the person.
Otahime.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tanaka.
Okay. So,
I love you, Zach.
you go through your regular morning routines, Zahn making as much meat products as possible.
While avoiding eye contact with Kasumi.
Dangerous. Kasumi makes her tea. Moriko, okay, got it. Death grip still activated. Understood. Tanaka eventually wakes up and seems to pull something from his pocket to munch on. Gets up, starts going through some stretches, and then he goes and sits back down and seems to just kind of wait for the rest of you to be up and ready to go.
He's outside the cart, right? Like
Yes.
he's doing all this. Okay.
Yep, kind of like that.
Well, when I get done eating, I'm gonna go out and greet our resident Red Guard.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. You all ready to set forth into this disease-stricken town?
I'm good to go.
Do we have an idea where this Otahime is?
I have been told that she is the resident holy person for the temple to Shenshe. I would assume it would not be very difficult to find.
Very good.
Send let us go.
Are the rest of you there? I've only heard Zahn and Lakin speak so far.
Yeah.
Kasumi's still in the cart.
Yeah, I'm in the cart.
Riko's peeking a head out, hands still on the fluff.
Okay. Are you gonna...
Zahn will.
No, go ahead.
Zahn's gonna go back over to the cart, stick his head in the door. It is time for us to go. All who are coming may vacate the cart now.
Oh, we have to leave the cart?
Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, warriors on.
I am this warrior Zahn of which you speak.
We should try to keep as much separation from the populace to avoid catching the contagion. Perhaps you and I can walk alongside the guard, while the others remain within.
That works for me, I guess.
Unless you have another idea.
No, let's not do the killing, maiming, death, destruction, stealing, or burning things down. No, usually these ideas aren't my thing.
You're going to have to help here, and not by doing any of those things you just listed.
Actually, that's not true. I can kill diseases very effectively.
So we can stay in the cart? So he just interrupts.
Zahn just looked back at you, just like the most smug, like, yeah.
I'm going to appear on the other side of Zahn with my full rebreather mask on and just look at him.
No, like, and he has like a proper plague doctor mask.
That's fucking cool. Can I get a picture of it, please?
Zan's just gonna look down at Pez. I mean, I could do that too. Pulls his hood over his head and his eyes just go purple again.
Yeah, but does that help?
Help what?
I can't smell you anymore, which is great.
I reach my arm down towards
Fucking
Pez for
excuse
uppies.
you? I take very nice care of myself. You sleep in the dirt, and you put it in your what is you call it? Bean juice. You actively put in your bean juice what you sleep in.
And
Son just throws his hands up in the air, just fucking walks. Oh, shit.
I reach my hand down to you, Pez, for uppies.
We will be driving Cassie. Zud does not turn around to ask this question.
Tanaka has kind of let you all talk for a minute. I am afraid that we will probably need to leave the cart eventually. And he kind of turns and looks towards the narrowish alleyways. There are not very many that can fit quite the size of your wagon. These are more for hand carts or simple, smaller beasts of burden.
Zan will walk over to the cart and stick his head back in. The cart won't fit, everybody out.
Why? Kasumi looks distraught.
Moriko's just gonna leave the cart.
I'm so sorry, Kasumi. I wish I could change it, but not really.
Kasumi leaves the cart. She's got her backpack. She just kind of sits there and crosses her arms. Where are we going?
Into this harbor town.
Okay. Well.
Are
We're looking for a temple to Sensei.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, Cassie, are you going to be fine by yourself? And she looks back at the cart.
Yeah. Great.
Hey.
Lakin
let
said I can run
strangers-
people over.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
Let's go.
don't let strangers in.
Okay.
Thunk! The door slams shut.
Warrior Cassie.
What?
Got a good ring to it.
Ha, Zan's on par with the wagon.
God, I can't wait.
I regret nothing. Anyway,
Fucking gonna kill God.
Tanaka begins to lead the way into the village. Is there anything anyone wants to do as they're going along? Anything in particular, anyway?
Keep the ears alert.
Look for an old priest.
Or priestess.
Yeah.
So, you wander the village for a better part of 30, 45 minutes. Taking your time, getting a little bit of the lay of the land. Some of you had made an excursion in the middle of the night. Some of it begins to look a little bit familiar, but now that it's daylight and there's actual colors, it's coming into more of a pleasant view. If it weren't for the sickness, this would be a very quaint little town. A lot of the exterior of these buildings seem to be a little bit in disrepair. Not complete and total neglect, but it seems very recent. Likely due to the fact that the people that are here just aren't able to get up and take care of their belongings, their homes, from the general wear and tear of a seaside town. With the salt air and everything coming in, it's just very, very harsh. But you travel a little bit further deeper into the village area where rough estimate would be kind of where the center would be. It doesn't look like a town square like some of you would be really familiar with, but it does seem to be an area of more prominence, where there may be more get-togethers, festivals, things of that nature. It's not totally quiet. There's a few people that are out and about, but they have wrappings around their heads, covering their noses and their mouths. Some people are sitting in front of their homes. There doesn't seem to really be anyone out trying to sell their wares or anything. You do see what looks like the silhouettes of a few ships out on the harbor. Not too far off because you're still able to see them. They're not very big. They look to be maybe some sort of fishing vessels. They're not really moving, so probably not transport. But one building does catch your eye on the interior, though the grounds outside seem to be not well cared for. There's weeds and just kind of overgrown greenery. The thatched roof seems to be showing signs of rot and a little bit of damage, but you can also see that there are very ornate carvings of a serpentine dragon. Doesn't look to be painted like the gold of Shenshe, but the general shape and depiction looks as if it's Shenshe, just with less money to really make it shine like you have seen the deity look in your own personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
As you get a little bit closer, the symbols carved into the door frames and around some of the posts have the paint flecking off from inside, where it looks like they used to be once very bright and vibrant. They're now a little bit dull, with just a little hint here and there of the original color and splendor that this temple used to be in. So, assuming you all head towards it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Walking up into the entrance, there is no door. It's just an open doorway, but with the bright sunlight, that difference in light made it a little bit more difficult to see within. But stepping into the area, you see, just making sure everything's okay. You step into the temple and you see a figure kneeling down back to you. Seems to be wearing a very, very ornate headdress. Seems a little bit on the shorter side, but a very sturdy body. And as your footsteps ring through the silent temple, you see the headdress move slightly, and the figure turns, stands up, and you can kind of see them wobble a little bit. But as they turn to face you, you see a very pretty dwarf female in full priestly regalia, which, Kasumi, you would be very familiar with this sort of attire. Hello. Strange faces. How may I assist you today?
We were sent here to deliver the moss that is said to help hopefully cure the people in this town.
Moss. There,
From the weeping Sequoia.
I am not familiar with this, but there are many herbs that are medicinal. I would be happy to take a look.
The Shogun specifically asked for this to be given to you for this purpose.
If this is true, then I will do my utmost. But we are not able to receive word. We have been sequestered. There is no in, there is no out.
Kasumi looks at Tanaka. Tanaka. What were the exact instructions you received yesterday?
Precisely as you say. We were to find the temple of a renowned enough healer that would be able to make use of this moss. I do regret to say that I have had no internal dialogue with anyone from this village. The guards, this was the first time that they have been spoken to. This whole area, from my understanding, has just been shut off from the world.
She turns her attention
If we do not
back.
get this fixed, whatever is happening here, I am afraid to tell you that we as well are stuck.
She turns her attention away from him, back to the priestess. So you're not familiar with this weeping sequoia moss or the components that supposedly are healing features of it?
This is not my first time in making remedies from flora. I have simply not had the pleasure of working with this moss of which you speak. I may need some experimentation to properly implement it, but I will not know if you do not give it to me.
I apologize. We don't mean to seem rude, but we were basically given the impression that you were expecting this and that you guys would know exactly what to do to best utilize this very precious and sacred ingredient.
I think you're making assumptions again, Kusumi.
I was
What do you
certainly praying for such a gift, and if you say that this is as special as it is, I can pray to Shenshei, and perhaps she can give me some proper guidance and make it take less time for me to do.
We did gather quite a bit. We can still give her a portion for her to experiment with, and if the experiments prove fruitful, we can give the rest and make more of the remedy.
May I see some of this, please?
Moriko and Pez have it.
Mariko's gonna give Otahime a portion of the moss that she has.
As she reaches out to take it from you, you can see that her sleeves are, while they kind of look very nice, there's definitely some fraying around the edges. It's something that you've been seeing everywhere at this point, but so far that you have seen from other denizens of this area, she seems to have been doing her best to take as good care of this regalia as possible, to be that kind of figurehead. She takes the moss from you, which is still, a little bit of crumbly and dirt, but she takes it, and as you had been looking at her initially, taking your time to kind of look around the room now, there does seem to be 2 separate altars, one of them to Shenshei, and another one that seems to have engravings of Shenshei around the base of it, but it's not a full statue like the other one has. And this is the one that she goes towards, and you can already see her starting to pick off bits of the moss, put it into a bowl, put into another one. One she pours some liquid into, the other one was a mortar and pestle. She begins grinding it up and she begins to work. If you have any questions, I can do my best to answer. If you wish to pray, she gestures towards the. It's very similar to the altar that you have in the wagon, but bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not necessarily nicer, because you had some really, really good artisans working on it, but in terms of scale, this one is far more imposing, intimidating. Very big.
Do you know of the people that live in the house next to the cherry blossom? The big cherry blossom tree?
That would be the Itos. They work to repair fishing vessels, the equipment that the fishermen from all across of Kudong Harbor come to them to get their items repaired and fixed. Anything short of fixing the hull of a boat, they are the ones you wish to speak to.
Is that the ones that had little elves that looked like you?
Where I had to retrieve Fluff, yes.
So how like are you talking about here? Like I kind of said, almost.
I mean, I've never seen another elf before, so it could just be because it's another person of my species. But I don't know.
Okay, so Miss
Altahime.
Miss Reverend Priestess. Do we need to watch you do this? Or does this take some time?
You are more than welcome to sit and keep me company. I would certainly not say no. It has been very quiet since this whole calamity occurred, but I will also not force you.
Like, how to ask this question? You
Use
said
your words.
she's. Wait, what?
I said use your words.
No, you can't make me. I don't like using words. Violence only. I guess Zahn will. How tall is this priestess compared to me?
A little bit taller than you.
Oh fuck. Okay, well.
She's a dwarf, so she's not tall, but she's right around-ish your height.
Zahn will walk up behind the priestess and put his hand on her back. Not in any meaning other than friendly. He just pat her slightly. I am sorry that you seem to be here all alone. With nothing but your thoughts.
I am not alone. I have Shinsei.
You hear like a sigh from Kasumi.
Zahn just. Oh! That's
Mommy,
very good. I'm very happy for you. So how long have you been a priest for?
It feels like my whole life at this point.
So you became a priest very young?
More or less. My calling came from the divine, and I decided to pursue it.
Kasumi's gonna walk over towards. Are there like banisters near the altar, or is it just an open space?
It's an open space.
Okay. She's just gonna kind of walk away from the conversation and go sit quietly by the altar.
Okay. Just sitting or doing anything in
He's
particular?
just sitting.
Okay. Go for it.
Your Holiness,
Yes.
I have a few questions if you would humor me.
I will do my best to answer.
When did this sickness grip your flock?
The sickness struck the land first. We were shielded from the brunt of it as the life in the ocean flourished far more than that of the land. But this particular disease has been here for a few months now, I believe. Time has been strange since we have been cut off from the rest of the dynasty.
Has there been any loss of life over these past few months?
Unfortunately, yes.
My condolences.
They were elderly, some were very young. It is normal in situations such as this for those of the weaker constitution. But I have comfort knowing that they are with Shinsei now.
Yes.
There's a soft little as she threw something into one of the bowls. She kind of tilts her head slightly and begins adding and mixing some more things.
If you require any aid in your processes, I have a fair bit of knowledge that I could assist you with.
I do appreciate the offer. If anything comes to stump me, I shall. If you are still nearby, I will seek your counsel. Anyone doing anything else at this point?
Moriko's just looking around, observing.
Okay.
Yeah, Kasumi is... She's not praying. She's silently sitting by the altar. And originally she had intended to pray, but she kind of found herself at a loss for words, and now is just kind of blankly staring at the altar.
Okay. Quite a bit of time goes past. Otohime tries a few things, comes back to Moriko for a bit more of the moss, and as the time goes on, she seems to get more and more excited, more and more hope seems to come to her eyes. Eventually, she gets to a point where she has a small bowl filled with a greenish-blue liquid. I have something that is very likely to work, but things such as this, I cannot guarantee that the results will be immediate. I myself am not currently afflicted, but there are many that are.
Zan's brow perks. How about the elf girl's family?
I mean, I know where their house is.
I'm so proud.
If you wish to go to the Itos, you are welcome to. I would appreciate the help, and it will give me more time to see if this can be improved or if I learn anything new.
Moriko's gonna take the bowl and in exchange give her the rest of the moss that Moriko had on her person.
She hands you the little bowl, and she kind of holds up a finger and goes back to her table and gets a little lid and sets it on top. Well, you seem to know your way around. I do not believe that anyone will stop you, so for now, good luck. May Shinsei be with you. I shall be here, continuing to strive.
Let us go, Moriko.
You have perhaps enough for 2, maybe, depending on the size. I have not seen the Itos in some time. I do not know how the children fare.
Okay.
Oh, I'm a priest. If there's anything I can do outside of the moss, he will do it.
I have tried myself. The gifts of the divine seem to alleviate somewhat, but whatever this is, it is very aggressive.
Okay. Keeps it in mind.
How long have you been here?
I was assigned to this shrine some 40 to 50 years ago, I think.
Do you happen to know how many children that family has?
I believe the Itos only have the 2. They had the one before I was assigned here, and the little one was... I believe that one is nearing 3 decades at this point. But time begins to muddle together sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, let's go. She's just gonna go towards the door.
All right. Be safe. We'll return.
staying as a group?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making sure.
I don't know how dangerous this family is. They could be murderers.
Yeah.
As
So-
they're coughing and hacking up a lung.
Yeah. Makes them even more dangerous. They have nothing to lose.
They were sword swallowers. They're coughing up the blades.
Oh.
Moriko,
Huh?
are you comfortable administering this? Or would you like myself or Warrior Zon to do so?
Up. Today, I am Priest Zon.
I don't know. We shall
did-
see.
Did she tell you how to administer it?
I'm guessing they
Then you
drink
can
it.
Drink it.
Oh, okay.
Because it looks like something you just gotta... Just sip.
Yes, Kasumi. This is a sippy sip.
It looks like water, okay?
Damn, does it look like water?
It's greenish blue.
Looks like water from somewhere.
It is definitely of the liquid variety.
These are all important facts we need to know.
Riko's leading him towards the house.
So how do you know where this is again, Moriko?
Fluff went missing, and I followed the scent and found Fluff there. Traitor.
And how did you get Fluff back?
I told Fluff to come back to me. I looked through the window.
Was the window open?
Yes.
Press X to doubt.
Make an
Timmy's
insight
just
check.
Smirking.
What is my insight?
Moriko, make a
+5?
deception.
Okay.
Okay.
What'd you get, Zon?
20 Van.
20 Ven.
Timmy is smirking.
Good thing he's not asking you.
I know.
14.
14. Oh, she is lying.
Moriko! How could
It
you?
wasn't me. When I looked, the window was already opened.
How could you? Breaking into somebody's house that you
I
don't
didn't.
belong in.
I stayed outside. And
I don't know. From the sounds of it, you stuck your head in.
No, I just peeked in. I saw Fluff, told Fluff to come here. Fluff went to the windowsill. I picked up Fluff.
Zon's
You
gonna
were
just
peering
wander.
into a child's room in the middle of the
Yep.
night.
It wasn't an individual room. It was kind of like that one haunted house that Tanaka got himself wrecked in. It was just one big room.
Zon's gonna walk closer to Moriko, just put his arm on her shoulder. I am so disappointed. I'm so proud in you. You should definitely never do this again. Do this again.
You hear the footsteps of Tanaka stop and go, just gonna stay with the temple. he just turns around,
Tanaka.
just like,
You come here. You're a part of this as well.
You see him stop and like,
It's only
like,
fair.
sulks back towards you guys.
You
like,
will be
how-
fine. We have issues this time. You will not die. Hopefully.
You are so
I
comforting.
will make sure of it.
Just as long as you don't go into any strange huts again by yourself.
The day when I rid myself of you will not come soon enough.
We will miss you
feelings
too,
mutual.
genuinely. At least I will.
Mariko's just gonna speed up her walking.
Ah, she was very excited to get back into this house.
Sure, let's go with that.
You don't have to walk for terribly long. You do remember that it was very, very close to the seaside, and very quickly you were able to see it in the distance. It is the only structure that has a flourishing cherry blossom tree growing outside of it.
Have I seen the cherry blossom tree before?
Yes. You saw them at the
Oh, that's right, the hotel place.
yes, the inn that I can't hold.
Hold, please.
It's gonna make you mad if you don't remember it.
Yep.
That's where you guys poisoned me with alcohol.
Oh, yes, I
Yep.
was very proud of that. It was a good time.
Well, the DM cells were
the
tiny.
final rest in.
Aye. Okay, These pretty trees again. I see.
What were you gonna say while I was stalling for time?
I was just gonna say that Moriko was gonna go up to the tree and put her hand onto the trunk because she's finally getting to see an actual cherry blossom tree.
So, you had seen some of the structure when you had snuck up, but it was dark, and because of the general nighttime and the dark vision, you were seeing in shades of gray. It's a very quaint little single-story building with weathered wooden shingles on a sloping roof. They've kind of taken on a kind of soft gray sort of shade just from the years of exposure to the salty air. Compared to some of the other homes around here, it seems a little bit more kept up with. Even the white trim around the windows and the doors seem, all in all, relatively clean compared to some of the other places you had seen. In the front yard is the cherry blossom tree, and it's right next to a stone pathway that leads from the front of the home to the small wooden dock that's directly opposite of the home. And next to the dock, you can see that there's chairs and benches, crates that seem to be filled with all sorts of tools. They're just kind of left out there. They seem to be very trusting of their fellow neighbors.
None of them look damaged or old or anything like that.
Some of them do look damaged. There are a few containers where you can see things that are very clearly broken, and other ones where they seem to be in perfect condition. And going off of what Otohime had told you, that they do repair work. There's multiple what look almost like clothing lines, but instead of it being clothes, it's fishing nets. Some of them are bundled up on the ground. There's one that looks like it's just a massive tangle, but there's a slew of others that seem to be hanging and perfectly well kept.
When we walk up, I will cast mending on any broken tools.
So, am I gonna have to separate you two?
He's being a menace.
There doesn't seem to be anyone outside. Outside the front of the home, there seems to be a set of 4 chairs, 2 of them larger, the other 2 somewhat smaller. Seems to just be a little seating area out front. The window that you had totally not stuck your head into
It was the wind.
is currently closed, along with the door into the entryway. So, what would you all like to do?
Rika's gonna go up to the door and knock on it.
Okay. You wait a moment, and you hear the soft footsteps. Door cracks open just a little bit, and you look down, and there's a girl from the previous night.
Oh,
Morning.
how'd you find me?
Followed Fluff.
Oh.
She kind of opens the door and like shuts it behind her.
It followed me.
I'm not mad at you calling Fluff the traitor, but I understand.
Okay.
We believe we have, and she holds out the container. Medicine.
Oh.
There's enough for 2 people.
Maybe
She turns and throws the door open. And she rushes inside, and you see she runs up to the foot of the bed that you had seen when you were totally not in the window. And she's kind of like puts a hand on each of the lumps at the end that would be the feet, She gives him a little bit of a shake, and you hear her. You hear a dialect that you have not heard in a very, very long time. And it takes you a moment to click that gear of why you recognize some of these words. At first, you're only catching every other word. The cadence is difficult to follow. It's like when you learn Spanish, but then you go to Mexico, and it's like, yeah, it's that big change of like, oh yeah, I know the language. Like, what the fuck did you just say to me? Slow down. You see one of them lean up. Seems to be an older elf. Long black hair, a little bit unkempt, definitely bedhead. A very, very messy top knot. Scruffy beard, pale skin, the pointed knife blade ears. He kind of sits up and looks very groggily at the girl, who's now like turning and like, you know, frantically pointing towards the door, speaking in Elvish. Lakin, with you being close enough, you can hear and understand the girl, and along with you, Moriko, you once you start to kind of like finally shift those dusty gears into motion, she's exclaiming that there are visitors who have a cure. There's a cure, like you know, get up. And you see the man kind of looking, and he looks from his daughter to the doorway, and his eyes are severely unfocused, a bit sunken in. His face is a bit sallow. He just seems very, very weak. And he kind of looks down at the girl, and you know, he kind of grins very, very faintly and gives her a pat on the head. And he kind of looks in the direction of the door, and he kind of gives a motion like, please, enter, friends. I am Ito Kaito. My home is yours.
I put a hand on Moriko's shoulder.
Be careful.
I will. Mariko's gonna hesitate but step forward and hold out the container.
Tamami rushes forward and grabs the bowl from you and rushes back to the bedside.
I'll be right back after you get water.
Copy. Moriko and Lakin have entered the room. What are the rest of you doing?
If there's enough room, I'll follow, but I don't know how.
Pass is on my shoulder.
Right.
Yeah, I'm the plague doctor on the shoulder.
Kasumi's gonna kind of
It's familiar.
Kasumi's gonna try to stay by the door. She's trying to put distance, but she's still watching.
Okay. Stepping inside, you see a home that is a bit cluttered. Like there's still parts that are neat, but it definitely hasn't been terribly well cared for. But you can tell just by looking that it's a comfortable home. Wooden floors. Some of it is a little bit dirty, but there's other areas, especially the normal walking pathways that are kind of polished and shiny. Punch the microphone. My apologies. The walls have a very soft, neutral tone to them. The furniture all seems to be very well made. Not very traditional from what you would expect, Kasumi. Some of it is the same general size, like the very, very low chairs, but they're not carved in the Takatari style. They seem to be more natural and flowy. Where you had seen them sleeping before is more of a living area. It's a little bit further away from where the parents were sleeping, and you can kind of see that there's another little nook that looks like maybe where the children would normally sleep, but to keep some distance, they're sleeping out further away. As the little girl goes up and gives the bowl to her father, he takes it, looks at it, and sniffs it a little bit, and he takes a drink, and you kind of see him wrinkle his nose a little bit. This is not the worst medicine I've ever had, but... And he leans over and shakes the figure beside him. Doesn't stir straight away. Tammy, take that for now. When your mother awakes, make sure she drinks this. She takes it, puts the lid back on, and goes to, from where you're looking at the room to the left, where it seems there's a little bit of a kitchen area. There's a sunken in flame pit and different bits of cutlery and hanging spaces for dried herbs, hanging meats, things of that nature. The man stays sitting in the bed, still relatively covered up by the bed coverings. So, strangers, new friends. I would love to do more for you to make you feel hospitable, but my wife and I are bedridden for the moment.
I do have a question. Does it not require you to get out of the bed to answer?
Please.
Why? He gestures to the little girl. Does she, and Son points at Moriko, look like her?
Riko's just gonna give Zahn a look like, really?
Zahn's gonna give a bit of look back. Really, really.
Oh my god.
You see him kind of squint his eyes and try to look at you, Moriko. And you can see that there's not much recognition. I do not know. This is colorful, your friend here, but I do not believe we have met. I feel like I would remember something so vibrant.
The pink isn't natural, but...
Perhaps in my delirium I am unable to focus much.
Don't stress yourself. Just... rest.
Zahn will walk forward and place his hand on said unhealthy man and cast Cure Wounds because he can.
Should have had a V8.
You're not you when you're hungry.
You walk up to Kaito and you put your hand on his shoulder.
Oh, probably.
You pump in a Cure Wounds, and you see him take a deep breath and a sigh. Well, that is refreshing. I really hope the medicine actually does something more. Yes, Lakin?
Is the lump that is his wife moving?
Make a perception check for me.
Oh, baby. I won't even need it, but let's do it anyway. Natural 2025.
Jesus. She's not moving, but you do see the rise and fall of breathing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are not as bad off as some, but we were hit hard. Thankfully, my children are still healthy. And I thank Shinsei for this every day. And he kind of leans slightly, and you see him start leaning a bit too much, and he kind of catches himself. It looks like my son is out fishing once again. I do hope he is not too startled to come back to strangers. I feel I need to rest a bit, so please make yourselves at home. Tammy, again, please watch for your mother to wake and make her drink. He goes to lay himself back down and conks out. And as Kaito slips back into slumber, that is where we're going to end for tonight. So, thank you all so much for joining us for this. I promised I wouldn't leave you on a cliffhanger. Not a big cliffhanger.
Not a cliffhanger.
I know it's not a cliffhanger, but I like playing D&D.
You can blame me this time.
So we will be back in the next 2 weeks to see what comes of this mysterious elven family, and hopefully to see whether or not the cure begins to take effect. So have a good week, have a good weekend. We will see you the next time we go live. We are doing a bit more streaming. We're going to bring back Whiskey Wednesday to do some stuff. We got Pez Plays we're going to try to get back coming along. James here has a good new computer, so we're going to be doing some Helldivers with this son bitch right there, meow. Squashing some bugs, yeah. So if you want to join in for that kind of fun, join the Discord. Links in the chat and in the description.
We also might be streaming a fairly large group campaign of Baldur's Gate.
Oh yeah. So join us for that. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, good night, everybody. We'll see you the next time we go live.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Fools and Flagons podcast. If you enjoyed this past adventure of the Tales of Archeron, you can catch us live on Fridays at twitch.tv/Fools and Flagons.